Hello there. So, I meant to do this sooner during dysautonomia. What, baby? Awareness Month. But obviously that didn't turn out the way that I hoped. But this, if you read the title, you know what this is. And in case you haven't read the title or you have poor eyesight, yeah, it's your wand. Yes, I'm. What do you want? Yeah. This is me telling you my journey with chronic illness, disability, and trying to tackle being a single parent all in the same breath. And then further video thingies. Okay. So, Serena, here, take my hand, baby. Let me help you. Come up. No. You want up?
Yeah.
You want up on the other chair? Okay, wait, hold on. Hold on. Ready? There you go. I'm not gonna fall. That's fine. This feels really weird though. This is cold. I don't like it.
It's a blanket.
Mm-hmm. Okay, are you gonna sit there? Oh, that was my knee.
Huh?
Boo-boo. Okay, well, I'm keeping her preoccupied. So, most of you don't really know, but I was born disabled, which is really weird to think about because I don't think about it. But with this whole journey that I started with getting diagnosed with a chronic illness and trying to become an advocate for chronic illness, and especially chronic illnesses that aren't talked about enough and that are invisible and rarely have the amount of research that's needed. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, I was born disabled. I was caught in the birth canal and then my right shoulder, okay, got stuck. Well, I got stuck and so my right shoulder got dislocated so that they could pull me out. And because of me having Erb's palsy, which is what it's called, or Erb's Duchenne palsy, I think is the entire term. Because of me dealing with that, they didn't bother to look at my heart, which has a bicuspid aortic valve, which means that the aorta normally has 3 leaflets to help with like blood flow and things like that. I have 2, and it's genetic. We love that word around here, genetic. And my mom, she told me that she remembers the doctor saying something about a heart murmur, but she didn't press. Well, while I was being diagnosed with POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, I had to get an echocardiogram, and that's where they found the bicuspid aortic valve. But let me talk about how I got diagnosed with POTS and then what unfolded after that. So, I was working with Walmart when all of this started. 3 years ago. 2-3 years ago now. Because when Serena was born, and after the 6 weeks, I got a job at Dollar General. And then there was a bunch of drama that happened at that Dollar General store. And we moved from that house to the one, trailer, to this one to help a friend of my mom's take care of her husband's dad, not my mom's, the friend's husband's dad. And that's when I started to work with Walmart. And then right around, I want to say, December, maybe January. It was right around Black Friday, I know that. And it was right after Christmas. I was standing at the cash register, and all of a sudden, I felt really lightheaded, really dizzy, and just like all the blood pressure just dropped from my head to my feet. And if you have POTS, you know that's not a good thing. And me not knowing what was going on, I called my mom, because at first coworkers were like, oh, it's just anxiety. And I'm like, but I don't feel anxious. I feel fine, because I liked working at Walmart and I felt fine. I wasn't anxious or anything. So I called my mom, and she's like, it's most likely your blood sugar. And I'm like, okay.
What?
Boo-boo.
That's like I'm not
Yeah. And, so they gave me orange juice, gave me some chocolate, and then I went to the hospital. They checked my blood sugar levels, said it was fine. But because my mom has a history of hypoglycemia, that's like what the diagnosis was at the time. But then it continued, to happen. And after so many days of missing work, I'm like, Mom, I need to know what's going on. In one of my trips to the ER, because of Walmart, either because of Walmart or because I was feeling really, really crappy at home, watching my language more. As you guys know, I don't have a filter, but I have little ears right next to me. Oh, my baby. And, so I was feeling really crappy. And so I went to the ER, and the doctor had me stand up. And you probably heard this story before in a video of mine talking about my diagnosis with POTS. You went down?
Yeah.
Okay, give me hands. No. Not that way. Not that way. Careful. Yeah. Be careful. Good job. Ta-da. Oh, you want me to keep? Okay, I'll keep swaying. Anyway, so the doctor had me stand up, and then when he did, my blood pressure lowered as my heart rate went up. And he's like, yeah, it sounds like postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And I was like, what? Slow down. And he's like, I know it sounds scary. And then he explained what it was. And I was like, okay. but I wanted to get somebody who was actually specialized in diagnosing POTS and everything. So that is when I went to the doctor I see now, my cardiologist. Same doctor who told me that POTS was just a disease of being a couch potato and wasn't a disability and everything. That doctor. So that's when he was like, okay, I'm gonna get you a tilt table test, an echocardiogram. And this was also after the hospital did the Holter monitor for 48 hours. And I only lasted maybe 5 minutes on the tilt table test. And that's when they had me flat. And the reason why I did so poorly is because he took me off my medication for a bit. That way they would get accurate readings. I was so miserable. So miserable. So that's how they found the bicuspid aortic valve, was through the echocardiogram, because they stuck the thingy like right here for some reason to really get a look at it. And then technician was like, that looks deformed, but I'm gonna give it to him and see if it is what I think it is. And when you hear that something in your heart's deformed, you're like, huh? So, yeah, that's how POTS came about. Then, I was talking to the nurse practitioner for my doctor, and I was like, look, my joints hurt all the time. I'm in pain all the time. And I've been hypermobile my whole life. Because I can do this. And that's not the only ways I'm hypermobile either. That's just the less painful way I could show it. And she's like, yeah, no, that's because I shouldered me touching my thumbs to my wrist and everything. And and she's like, that sounds like a connective tissue disorder. I'm going to recommend you to a rheumatologist and get that situated. So I went to the rheumatologist. She did the Beighton score test thingy. The only test I didn't want to pass with flying colors, but I passed with flying colors. And the rheumatologist told me that basically everything on my right side is completely out of alignment. My ribs, my hip, I already know my shoulder, and I can use both arms. It's just, I'm cold, and I'm left hand dominant. So if you're wondering if I hurt my arm, I didn't. I'm just really cold, and would rather be left hand dominant. Anyway, yeah, everything on my right side is out of alignment, and I'm partially thinking if it's because they had to pull me out. What is she doing? Hang on. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I'm thinking everything on my right side is out of alignment because they had to pull me out of my mother because I got stuck. Then again, I don't know. And what I mean by like my hip is out of alignment, it sits higher than my left side. So I can stand on my right leg and still be 5'3", but if I stand on my left leg, I'm suddenly 5'2", 5'1", which is weird to think about. Hi. And Josh, Danny, go? No? Can we eat your breakfast? You eat your breakfast. Yeah, and then she had a genetics test done. Genetics test turned up absolutely nothing. But she did say that doesn't negate anything. That's just one genetic panel. That doesn't mean there's nothing wrong with you. You could have something that we're not even looking for. But because the genetic test was strictly for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and so the current diagnosis is hypermobile syndrome. Which in person she said hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos. So it's I don't know. I just know I'm hypermobile. My joints pop in and out of place a lot. I hurt and I experience all the same symptoms with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, but on paper it says hypermobile syndrome. But in person, word of mouth, she said if nothing on the genetics test shows up, then I will diagnose you with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and not hypermobile syndrome. So, I feel like I'm about to sneeze. So hold on a second. I don't want to falsely give a diagnosis despite the confusion, because I know what's on the paper. I don't have the paper, but you know what I mean. Oh my goodness. But I know what I experienced and what I was told, so it's kind of, you know what I mean? Like, have you guys ever had a doctor tell you one thing and then put something completely else on the document with a diagnosis? You got a red car. Look at your red car. Aww. It's a small red car, that's right. That car. Hi, Lightning. That's Lightning McQueen. Can you say Lightning McQueen? Close enough. So, yeah. Now, with disability, that's been hell since I got diagnosed with POTS. Hi, baby girl.
Yeah.
You can get a hug? Oh, you want up? Come here. You want up? Oh my goodness, you're happy. Oh. Hi, I'm trying to do something here. I'm trying to make a video. Are you gonna let me make a video?
No.
No. You gonna get down?
Oh.
No, she says as she gets down. Dado, baby. Hey, if you're gonna play with your car, can you go do that in the front room? Someone might be here. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, I've been trying to get disability for 2-3 years now. So they denied me the first time. Then they denied me again. They were like, we recognize that you're disabled, but you're not disabled enough to reap benefits because you could still work, you could still do low energy jobs. It's like, okay. Then are you hiring? Because anytime I get told by a doctor or by somebody who's like, oh, I know somebody with POTS, or I know somebody with this, or I know somebody with that, and they can still work. Okay. Are they hiring? Are they being given accommodations? Because that's the only way I see them having a job, is them being accommodated. And with the world being what it is right now, I don't see accommodations being given. And, my goodness. So, work has not been the best because the way that my mom likes to explain it to people is like, okay, say she does have a job. If her blood pressure goes out of whack even while she's sitting down, are you going to accommodate her? Or is the place gonna accommodate her? And they're like, well, no. And then, okay, then just shut up. It's just like the best way to go about it. Because once you explain how the domino effect, excuse me, people are like, oh, well, when you put it that way, it's like, okay then. And it's weird. Because I remember the last time I got my echo done, which was this year, was during the summer. And he's like, I've never seen somebody with a bicuspid aortic valve and POTS. It's like, okay, well, they probably exist. So if you guys are like me and have a bicuspid aortic valve and POTS, sound off in the comments. I would like to know what your journey has been. And if the aortic valve affects POTS in any sort of way, because I have no idea. I ask questions about it, and I'm just told, well, let's get the POTS under control, and then we get the bicuspid aortic valve under control. So it's just like, not what I asked, dude. Not what I asked. And you would think that disability would also take that into account, but nope. Nope. And it's even worse because I live in the South where disability is seen differently than it might be anywhere else in the world, especially up north. So. And it's also hard too because I'm trying to raise a child. I don't have a job. My only income outside of my mother is child support, which I have learned very quickly isn't very, I had the word, reliable. Oh no, what'd you do?
It's a hole.
You want me to fix it?
Yeah.
Where's the, oh.
Ah.
Okay, can I, oh my goodness, Serena, come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, come here. Let me see the car. Oh my goodness. She learned she could take things apart, and that's exactly what she does. She takes things apart. There we go. Alright, I'm going. That way. There you go. But, yeah. Child support's not very reliable. And my mom, bless her, is having to work so many different jobs to bring in income for this house. Because rent is $1,500. Yeah. Anyway. So, that being said, I'm trying to set up an Etsy. All I need to do is pay the fee, and then I will start posting things on the Etsy store. Once I get that situated, what's mostly going to be on that Etsy store is resin. I'm going to start with resin pyramids first, and then work my way to custom orders. I'll still do custom orders for the resin pyramids and try to do my best. But please keep in mind, I will be a straight out beginner. And yeah. So if you want a resin pyramid, once I get the Etsy store situated, I will be posting a video about it, letting you know the Etsy store is up, and the link will be in the description of that video. Again? It's okay, baby. You can be put back together. Thanks, baby. I'm also trying to get monetized on YouTube so I can get money from that, and so I can do live streams. And you're probably thinking, well, why do you want to do live streams? The reason why I want to do live streams is so that I can get donations in for like different charities, kind of like Thankmas and things like that. Or Thanksmas. You're welcome, my baby. Go the other way. Go that way. Thank you. And in order to get monetized, I think I need like 1,000 subscribers or something. So for the sake of getting the financial burden off of my mother and to help me out, please subscribe. Please show genuine interest in the Etsy store. I'm begging you. If you've been with this channel for a while, you know I've never asked for you to check out any store I might have had. Never asked for any type of financial aid. All I am asking is when the Etsy store is up, show interest, ask for orders, buy whatever is posted. Even if you don't like it, you could buy it and then donate it. Or do whatever you want with it. Because there will be old clothes of mine that I will wash before shipping. If I remember to. Oh, hi, baby. That you can do whatever the hell you want. As long as it's bought. As long as I'm getting money, that way that burden is being taken off of my mom. So please, 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 when the Etsy store is up and running, buy whatever I post. Because it's going towards making sure we still have a roof over our head. And with food stamps being in critical danger, food in our bellies, and clothes on our backs. Speaking of food stamps, if you are in a place where that is completely off the table, there are, or at least hopefully where I'm located, there are food banks and everything, but we're in the warning area where we don't know what's going on. But from the letter I got from food stamps, I'm getting benefits from this month all the way to April of next year. If that still stands, I've got no idea. But please research local food banks in your area based on zip code. And no, you're not the only one worried. And everything like that. one more thing before we go. Speaking of Thanksmas, I know Jacksepticeye likes to do this big grand doer to start it off. And what I'm going to be doing is, depending on if I get at least 1,000 subscribers between now and December. What you got behind your back? You got flowers. Pretty. Oh, thank you, baby.
Yeah.
You want me to sniff the one? Okay. There you go. I will be either live streaming or posting a video of me dyeing my hair turquoise for the Dysautonomia Research Center. If it's a live stream. Thank you, baby. Here you go. You're welcome. If it is a live stream, any proceeds I receive from that live stream will go straight to the charity. I'm letting you know that now. If it's not a live stream, the link to the organization that I'm wanting money to go towards will be in the description of that video. And if I'm able to, I will even put my own money into it. Because dysautonomia as a whole deserves just as much research as something like cancer. So please, when that comes around, consider donating. And if anybody is thinking about doing their own Thanksmas video charity, and if Jacksepticeye somehow sees this, please consider doing this Dysautonomia Research Organization or Center. I don't remember the full name right now. I remember sending Jacksepticeye a DM on Instagram if he ever checks them, because I don't know how else to get a hold of him. With the link to the website of the charity, the nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby.
Is that green?
It is green. Go on.
Is it yellow?
I don't want it, baby. Thank you. But you're welcome. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now with Thanksmas. So yeah. So that's gonna wrap up this video. If it's really long, I do apologize. Things to reiterate. If you're dealing with a chronic illness in any sort of capacity, you're not alone. You've got thousands upon thousands of people rallying behind you, which is something I need to remind myself more often. When the Etsy store gets put up, please, I cannot stress this enough, please, just buy something when I get everything posted, well, almost everything. And then when I start selling the resin pyramids, please show genuine interest, because I am trying to take off the financial burden from my mom. Consider subscribing so I can get monetized and start doing live streams, so that any profits I get can go towards research for dysautonomia and Ehlers-Danlos, because those two I rarely heard anything about before getting diagnosed and going to a rheumatologist and everything. And like I previously stated, that needs just as much attention as something like cancer. But I hope you enjoyed this video. about my journey with being diagnosed and how being a single parent is going. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them. Consider giving this video a like. If we could get it to like 5, I'll be fine with that. As long as YouTube knows you're engaged and you're liking the content. And as always, stay safe, stay yourself, and I will see you in the next video.